Okay, back on the Morning Brew, and our guest, a regular Friday visitor to the show, is Alex Pamaro, and Alex is involved in a lot of stuff. He does marketing for the rail yards. He heads a company called Community Publishing, and one of the most exciting things you guys are doing at Community Publishing is this whole multimedia book platform that you've developed, which is really, really good. Not only with your book, but now with Hakim's book.
Right. Yeah, thanks for having me, Larry.
Happy to be here.
And actually, Hakim's book will be our third book. We had Fiona the Funkadelic Freckle Fairy by Elena Roche.
Yes.
She was on here, and her book is out. So with Hakim, I just want to start with the beginning. I've admired him from afar, as a community organizer, promotes literacy, educator, activist, and as a dad. He's such a great role model in all those respects. So
Wow.
I needed to reach out to him. And just hearing his poems, and I said this would be great if he wrote a children's story, and he happened to have had one that he written. So
I would like to be in Hakim's house every day when he gets dressed.
Yeah.
He says, I think I'll throw the red on today.
Yeah.
Do you decide how the outfit comes together, or what?
It's so random. It's a mix of what's clean and then like these really cool glasses I got for like $10. So
Well, it works. You can pull it off, man. You really can.
Those are also the community publishing colors, red and black.
There you go.
So he's, yeah.
Well, good. Fill us in, Hakim, on how this children's book came about.
Sure, for a long time, Larry, I've been wanting to, I work with students of all ages. I work with pre-K, doing poetry workshops, educational work with pre-readers, so pre-K all the way through elders, all the way through senior citizen centers and things like that. But I really enjoy the imagination of the really, really young kids. Like, they don't get tripped up on trying to sound so poetic when they're writing poetry. And so I had the opportunity to be an artist in residence at my son's pre-K, Christina Kent. And I did 3 workshops with students, a workshop with teachers, and a workshop with parents. And I was like, I need more, nursery school friendly poetry.
Right.
So I wrote a poem for Christina Kent, and then I wrote a couple of other ones, and Samuel's story was one of those other ones. So when Alex approached me about writing a children's book, I was like, I just so happen to have a poem.
Right.
And it all fits.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it comes naturally to kids. Who's the first poet that kids most get exposed to? Is Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss, that's right.
He's a great poet, actually, if you think about it, right?
Very brilliant.
And so I think kids are more open and malleable to poetry than we give them credit
That's
for
right.
as adults.
And he's very rhythmic. When you're reading it, it's rhythmic, and then all that idea of sound. That's why we brought in DJ Flo Fader to do the soundtrack,
Right.
which you're going to hear now in a few minutes.
We're going to give Hakim a microphone here, so you and I, Alex, are going to talk a little bit about the direction of the publishing house that you have.
Right.
So you started Community Publishing to obviously publish your children's book, but then you said, hey, there's another dimension or two to this,
That's
right?
right. The whole idea of collaboration, creative collaboration. Albuquerque is a town full of talented artists of all mediums. And this allows, with this technology, iPads, mobile devices,
Right.
even your standard computer, it involves, it allows for having artists to display their work in a collaborative effort. So we call them multimedia books or multimedia ebooks, and they're wonderful.
Yeah.
We love them. But I should say, we are going to do a print edition. We did one with Fiona, the Funkadelic Freckle Fairy, and we're going to do one with Samuel's story as well. Just
Good.
for some of those folks who like that hard copy. But you do lose the multimedia, but it's still a great
That's all right.
story. Yeah,
That's all right.
okay.
So Samuel's story is about what?
Man, so it's about a child trying to find out what they want to be when they grow up, essentially.
Oh, that's great.
But framed in like a story about, there's always that moment in class when a teacher is asking everybody, and all your classmates have really good answers, and you're like, I want to have a really smart, witty answer, and you just can't come up with anything. So this is kind of Samuel's dilemma, and then he just kind of checks out and comes back, and there's more story to it.
How fun. That's very, very good. I understand you're going to do a little performance for us today.
Yes.
He's always ready to
He's
perform.
ready.
to perform.
At the drop of a hat
Almost
or red glasses or whatever
That's
the
right.
case may be. It's great. You want to do that now?
Sure, thank you.
All right.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Hakim Bellamy, everybody. Former Poet Laureate for the city of Albuquerque. He's ready to do his thing.
Thank you. Good morning. A story for the AM. We want to thank DJ Flo Fader for this beat, originally crafted beat, and it goes like this. Yesterday, Samuel decided to kick himself out of school. As you can imagine, the teachers were upset. The problem is, the teachers were upset before he left. His classmates were too. Let me explain. For the past week, the students have been writing stories. Stories about who they are. But not just stories about what kind of person they are, stories about what kind of thing they are. Like, if they could be anything, what kind of anything would they be? And Samuel's classmates had all the best answers. So good, Samuel didn't think there were any good answers left. Diego said he was the dragon. Something about a witch, a spell, a sword, and then he turns into a prince. Dora said she was a bee. Samuel thought she was going to say something about turning into honey, which technically would be incorrect, which my mama told me is a fancy word for not right, which is a fancy word for wrong, because bees don't turn into honey, they turn flowers into honey, and every first grader knows that. But Dora didn't say honey. She said queen. She's a bee that is going to one day be a queen, which is a higher rank than prince, but then again, Dora's smart like that. Darnell said he was a frog that turns into a prince, and then he and Diego argued for the next 5 minutes over who thought up being a prince first, and then there was Samuel, who didn't know a thing about what thing he'd be. I mean, there could only be one prince, and Diego and Darnell were already thumb wrestling over that, and Dora was just smart like that, so Samuel got up in the middle of class yesterday and left, kicked himself out of school. He walked down the road to the park and sat because that's what people do when they really need to think hard. Nothing. No thing. So Samuel paced off into the woods while everyone at school wondered where he went. The teacher called his parents. His parents called the police. The police called the dogs. The dogs called like, woof, 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 woof. And then they sniffed the floor and took a nap while everyone else worried. An hour later, Samuel came back, smiling. Everyone looked amazed. The teachers looked at the parents looked at the police looked at the dogs woke up, and Samuel spoke. I know what I want to be. He extended his arm and revealed a caterpillar he found in the woods. Even the dogs looked confused. Samuel's father asked him, son, why do you want to be a caterpillar? And Samuel smiled and shook his head no. Then he said, because a caterpillar has dreams, Daddy. Caterpillars dream of being butterflies, but I don't want to be a caterpillar, silly. I'm a dream, because dreams move slow like caterpillars. But one day after you reach your dreams and take a much-needed rest, you hatch into a good story. And one day, I dream of being a good story.
Man, that is...
Yeah. Very nice.
I love that
Nice.
phrase. He kicked himself out of school.
Yeah, yeah.
We
up
actually
and
should do
left.
that more in our lives, right?
Yeah,
Kick ourselves out of
that's it.
things and make ourselves move on.
Absolutely.
I love that metaphor.
Thank you.
That's wonderful.
Appreciate it.
So we're taking pre-orders at communitypublishing.org. October 31st, Halloween, is when the multimedia version will come out.
Good.
And a week later, we'll have the print version available.
And are you reading the audio version of this?
That's right.
Yeah, so we have lots of different artists involved. Just to add to this
Sure.
model, like I'm really a big fan of the community publishing model because it tries to locally source, and if not locally, independent artists source every
Yeah.
piece, the art, the visual
Yes.
art, the music, the writing. I'm a big fan of that local small economy stuff. But
Yeah.
I actually am reading this poem and the book this Saturday, tomorrow at 516 Arts for the Son of Pop exhibit that's happening at 7 p.m.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a great narrative. It really is. And
Thank you.
You listen to it and you want to see how it all comes out. And
Right.
Samuel is somebody that I think we can all relate to, right?
Right.
Yes. Yes.
We should be relating to him.
Yeah, I agree. I have a 7-year-old as well. So
And I have a 6-year-old, which is a lot of the
That's
emphasis.
nice. Are you doing anything at the rail yards?
I am coming up.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm be working with Manuel Gonzalez, who does the Poets at the Rail Yard. We were supposed to do it in September, but I just got back in the country, so it didn't work out for me. But that's in October, and my band, Waylaid, will be there on the 26th, which is the last Sunday in October. So
Yeah.
I love the Rail Yards. I went out the first weekend, took my son.
Yeah.
Yeah, we dug
And
it.
you're a fan.
I'm a fan.
yeah, that's the excitement. It's the
Very
same,
good.
idea there, bringing locally sourced folks, artists, and vendors in that case to
Right.
bring them in and just to give them exposure that they deserve.
That's wonderful.
I think. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And that you provide here. Thank you very much.
Hey, that's what we do. Now, my director's telling me you have another performance.
Sure.
Do you? Look at this guy. All right. So we can feature you now.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Once again, Hakim Bellamy, right here.
Let's hope I get this one right. So, because I live in New Mexico almost 10 years now, and I think that this poem relates to a lot of people who sometimes have an issue or trouble with being on time to things, like this morning when you're going to work. So this poem is called Chronometrophobia, and I do hope I haven't done it here before, but I'd like to hear it. Here it goes. Because she had always been on time, the foreman never so much as flinched at his forearm when she had to leave early. She's good labor. Not even a baby would make her late. 90 minutes later, I was born a month early. The lieutenant in my dad was proud that I was on time, military time, for the last time. Growing up, I was always told time is not a suggestion, it's a fact. Non-negotiable, so I guess that's why I'm anti-punctual, because clocks make me feel like a hostage with the way that they're armed. Skin-flavored nightmares every day at black of me as public enemy, neck dangling from an oversized clock. This is the face of chronometrophobia. I'm on CP time, New Mexican and Indian time, and frankly, it's sad that that's still not enough time. I can barely keep up time, and it's so sad I still need more. The leash given me by God, family, and friends alone, never by appointment and employer, except for the time when I was 415 Hakim on my name tag and schedule at Eddie Bauer, but I was proud when their manager proposal began with, he may not come when you want him, but he always shows up. I'm not the type to call out. I'm the type that's running behind. Chasing my dreams has me late for their reality. Chasing my future has me late for their now. So just know, when I show up a hair less dressed and stressed, it's simply because I haven't met my future yet. And when they say dumb stuff like, if you would have left 10 minutes earlier, all the lights would have been green, I know exactly what they mean. But when they say dumb stuff like, he's the type that would be late to his own funeral, I have no freaking idea what that means. Of course I want to be late to my own funeral. Matter of fact, I'll be a no-show if I have any say in the matter. So what if I am too much heart hemmed up to a surplus of sleeve, never cuff-linked to but covering my forearm foreman so I never know what time to leave? Plus, I already told you my phobia of clocks. They just remind me that we're all running out of time. And I'm sorry if I borrow a couple of your seconds to enjoy the ride. I'm sorry I try to love everybody at the same time, and I didn't prioritize your deadline over my lifeline. I mean no disrespect, and I don't mean to take your time, but I mean to take mine. When I'm late, I hear me ticking, knowing that when I leave, I will not spend as much time with you as I would have liked. Just like the conversation I haven't seen in forever at the market. The, no mom, this is not a bad time on the phone. The yes son, I have time for one more video game. The third snooze, the cuddle for breakfast. The best part of waking up is laying next to me in bed. The 5 more minutes won't hurt that made me late to this. Hi, I'm now 15 Hakim. Pleased to meet you. And I'm sorry I'm not embarrassed or ashamed. In fact, I feel relieved. Even though there certainly wasn't enough time to stop for bathroom or gas, I just drove 85 miles per hour from wherever I was to be in your presence. And I wish you were all arms and unconditional instead of frowns and perfection, because I'm not God. But just like the folk in the black church say about their God, he may not come when you want him, but he's on time. Thank you.
It's too much talent for the room here, man. This is great, Hakim. That is so wonderful. You are really a brilliant guy, and
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
happy to know you.
Same
Thanks
here. Happy
for
to meet you, Larry.
entertaining our audience.
If I may, Larry, Saturday we're having tomorrow at Fans of Film Cafe, Fiona the Funkadelic Freckle Fairy book release. So
Good.
everyone, it's a kid-friendly 2 to 3.
Yes, we had
Elena Roche,
we had her on the show, and
friend of ours, and we're a
it's
big team. Like you said, a lot of talented folks working
good,
together.
good. Thank you guys for being here. We're going to wrap the show up here.
Yeah.
All right.
All
We've got a little social media for you for the Morning Brew. Here it is. That's looking good. And YouTube's the way to go. You don't miss a thing if you subscribe. You'll get all the notifications of all the segments when we post them to our YouTube channel. And I know you've seen your stuff
I
on there.
look.
You bet. So, and give us a note on Facebook and Twitter and all of that. Well, it's been a fun show, you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks. Got a big weekend planned, the book release, Balloon Fiesta. It's all happening here. It's
happening.
October.
Yes.
It's October, and it's great to have you both on the show.
Thanks.
Thanks for
Thank you,
being
Larry.
part of it today and entertaining us today. Want to thank the crew for working so hard this week. They go crazy around here. And I want to thank you guys for watching today. We'll be back Monday with another edition of the Morning Brew. And I guess we'll celebrate. Is it Columbus Day this weekend?
Columbus Day.
Yeah, Monday's a holiday, Columbus Day, but we'll be here. And we'll talk about some of that. Have a great lineup of guests next week. Till then, have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.